You know, we all have this sort of inner compass, right? But we also face these storms, big and small, that are always trying to throw us off course. So today, we're diving into a set of timeless principles from Sikh wisdom that act as both the compass and the anchor, guiding people through some of the greatest challenges life can throw at them. Take a look at this. This is Takht Sri Keshgard Sahib. Back in 1699, this is where the 10th master, Guru Gobind Singh, established the Khalsa, really formalizing the Sikh identity. I mean, it's a place that just radiates strength and conviction. And honestly, it's the perfect place to start as we get into some really powerful ideas. So here's our game plan for this explainer. We're going to start with the spiritual compass, right at the heart of the faith. Then, we'll get into the internal battle it helps us fight. From there, we'll see that courage in action throughout history, then bring it right into today to look at a modern identity crisis, and finally, see how the solution is all about reconnecting with the source. Okay, so our journey really begins with the very first teaching from Guru Nanak, the founder of Sikhism. It's called the Mool Mantar, and you can think of it as the bedrock for the entire philosophy. Now, what's so fascinating is that Mool Mantar literally translates to a root tool for the mind. So this isn't just a prayer you recite from memory. Nope, it's actually designed to be a fundamental spiritual compass. It's a lens for seeing the world as it really is, and a super practical philosophy for how to navigate your day-to-day life. Let's break down a few of its core ideas. It all kicks off right here with Ek Onkar. This is the declaration that there is one single ultimate reality. And here's the key insight. The Creator and all of creation are not two separate things. They are one and the same. That same divine spark flows through absolutely everything and everyone. And that idea of oneness leads directly to this next powerful teaching, Nirpau, or fearlessness. Think about it. If there's only one ultimate reality, and you are part of it, what is there really to be afraid of? In this view, fear only comes from a sense of being separate, of me versus them. When you dissolve that separation, the fear just dissolves with it. And it follows, right? Where there is no fear, there can't be any hatred. Nirvair means without enmity, without hate. If you genuinely see that same divine light in everyone, there's no other to be an enemy of. The whole us versus them thing just falls apart. Hostility gets replaced by a natural, flowing compassion. And that is true north on this spiritual compass. Okay, so if that's the compass, what's the storm that's always trying to knock us off course? Well, the scriptures are pretty clear. The biggest battle isn't something out there in the world. It's the one raging inside our own minds. This internal storm, it has a name, Haumai. We can think of it as ego or self-importance. Guru Nanak doesn't describe it as just a simple flaw. He calls it a dirach rog, a chronic disease. It's that constant feeling of I, me, and mine that creates the illusion of separation and disconnects us from that one reality. So the spiritual journey here is seen as a kind of alchemy, which is a really cool way to think about it. It's all about transforming the man-mukh, that's the mind led by the ego, what you could call psychological lead, into the gurmukh, the mind centered on the divine or spiritual gold. It's a fundamental shift from being driven by illusions and vices to waking up to reality and actively cultivating virtue. So how does this internal compass actually hold up in the real world? Well, it isn't just for quiet meditation. It's forged to guide people through the most intense storms imaginable. And history gives us some absolutely incredible examples. 52. What does this number mean? Well, it's at the heart of an amazing story of courage and commitment to justice, a day that's celebrated as Bandi Chor Divas, the Day of Liberation. So the story goes, the sixth Guru, Guru Hargobind, was unjustly imprisoned by the Mughal Emperor Jahangir. Inside Gwalior Fort, he found 52 other kings, or rajas, also being held as political prisoners. When the emperor finally ordered the Guru's release, Guru Hargobind refused to go unless all 52 rajas were freed with him. The emperor eventually agreed, but on one condition. Only those who could hold on to the Guru's robe could leave. So what did the Guru do? He had a special robe made with 52 tails, allowing every single raja to hold on and walk out to freedom with him. For him, his own liberation was incomplete without everyone else's. Wow. That level of principle and sacrifice, it sets an incredibly high bar. But today, the storms, well, they've changed. The external pressures that challenge this identity are often a lot more subtle, a lot more social. Just consider the story of Bhai Taru Singh. Unshorn hair is a core article of the Sikh faith, seen as a gift from the Guru. In 1745, when the governor demanded he cut his hair and convert, Bhai Taru Singh replied that the hair was the Guru's gift, and he couldn't part with it. Instead, he offered what was his own, his scalp. This act of ultimate commitment has inspired generations. Now hold that story in your mind and let's contrast it with the storm of modern social pressures. Today, the reasons for abandoning that same article of faith often come down to wanting to fit in, bullying at school, grooming requirements for a job, pressure from a potential spouse, or just wanting to look like a celebrity. The source material draws this really stark contrast, asking us to reflect on the shift from being willing to offer your life for an article of faith to giving it up for convenience. So, how in the world do you navigate this modern storm? Well, the answer offered isn't to change your course, but to look back at that compass and find true north all over again. And here's this fascinating reframing from the fifth guru, Guru Arjan Ji. In this verse, the hair isn't a symbol of defiance or even just identity. It's presented as a tool for profound humility. The highest purpose he can imagine for his hair is to use it to wash the feet of a humble devotee. It totally transforms an external article into an internal tool for conquering that ego we were talking about. So the crucial point that the source material makes is this. The path forward isn't about yielding to social, corporate, or peer pressure. The real path is to challenge those pressures, to question those norms, and to reconnect with the deep spiritual meaning behind these gifts and teachings. True strength is found not in conformity, but in conviction. And that really leaves us with a final thought, a question that goes way beyond any single faith. In a world that is constantly pressuring us to blend in, to conform, to just be more convenient, how do we find the courage to honor the unique gifts we've been given, whatever they may be?